For this video, I got a robot to write the script, and I'll show you how you can get the robot to do your writing. But not everything in this video was written by the robot. So to help you know the difference, I will put the robot emoji down here in the corner whenever it's the robot's part. Like this. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Market Power, your weekly look at how the economics of sports and movie makes sense. First off, we have the NFL, which seems to be going nowhere with its new TV deal with ESPN. With all the money we're spending and the money already flowing in, why is ESPN not spending money on sports like they used to? That was different. Not the usual way I start my videos. The robot writing the script is actually an algorithm called GPT-2 and was developed by OpenAI. OpenAI has made a version of this available to everybody, which I'll show you in just a bit. The algorithm takes a prompt such as, "Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Market Power," and then tries to predict the text that comes next. For example, I make a lot of videos about the economics of Avengers. I have a whole playlist of them. What if I prompt the algorithm with, "Let's talk about the economics of Avengers"? Let's talk about the economics of Avengers. First off, for a movie, you have to make it financially successful. Not sure what that means yet, but it looks like I guess you can say Avengers is a failure. You're only going to be able to get through this $150 million budgeted film by doing something that's not actually popular. I don't even know what that'll turn out to be. It's unlikely that everyone who saw it will even get to see a sequel. I imagine that some of these people will stay away for good, but probably others won't. Marvel's Avengers of S.H.I.E.L.D. was an extremely successful series, but at $200 million plus, it was still just half of the franchise's budget. To make this happen, you need to do it at least as well. You need to make it competitive with Avengers in a big way. I think that if they made the Avengers Age of Ultron sequel, they'd have... Many would call this algorithm a form of artificial intelligence, but I prefer the term prediction machines, a term I learned from AJ Agrawal, Joshua Gans, and Avi Goldfarb. Check in the description below for a link to their book. The reason why I like the term prediction machines is because the algorithm's main goal isn't to create scripts for lazy YouTubers. Its goal is to predict text. It takes a prompt and then tries to predict the script that's going to come next. It's just like when you're typing a text message and your phone starts to suggest the next word. Except this algorithm has gotten so good at predicting text, it can create whole paragraphs of coherent text. And I am blown away at the predictions it's making. It mentions a budget, and even though it's not the right one, it's still amazing that it includes a budget in the economics of Avengers. And it even mentions other works in the MCU, like it's bringing up Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Avengers Age of Ultron. The algorithm is predicting that in a text about Avengers, you should bring in these types of titles. And it's right, like those are the things it needs to be talking about. Since this video is talking about the economics of machine learning and artificial intelligence, what happens if I ask the algorithm to write about robot economics? Let's talk about robot economics then. For the last few years, I have written about the implications of machine economies for economic policy. In the next installment of my series on robotics, I am considering both new economic policy options and the issues of how we respond to them, in part to highlight the ways automation is disrupting the financial services sector and how it will impact the way we interact with one another. A key piece of research is the recent work of Michael Grubb and Michael B. Osborne on the economics and politics of smart robots. Using data gathered by the DARPA-funded project called Robotics for the Blind, Grubb and Osborne identified 6 key issues for robots adoption. Let's just think about what we just heard. If you were to write about robot economics, what would you want to include in that text? You probably would want to cite research by economists, and that's what the algorithm does. Now, it doesn't cite real research, this paper doesn't exist, and it's not actually thinking about citing research, but the text it predicts should come next sounds like it should be research. It even comes up with names for economists, Michael Grubb and Michael B. Osborne. And in fact, there's actually an economist named Michael Grubb, and he's at Boston University. And when I checked him out, he actually has written a paper with Matthew Osborne. Now that's Matthew Osborne, not Michael Osborne, but this just... I couldn't even wrap my head around this. I had to go through both of their publication records and see if any of them had written about robotics or robotics for the blind, because this was such a convincing piece of text. I believed that these economists were real. What does this mean for our economy? Well, as Agrawal, Gans, and Goldfarb explain in their book, the advances in machine learning are lowering the costs of predictions. and that means anything that requires predictions or can be conceived as such will become cheaper. Well, what kind of things are going to have predictions? Well, it feels like a lot of our storytelling is becoming predictable, so could I create a skit using this algorithm? Hello? Hey, are you done yet? No, I'm still making the video. Do you need something? You make the video? Yeah, I made this video and the internet came to my house. I made this video and someone told me it's going to go viral. And I was like, hey man, let me tell you about the video. I don't care what it's about. I want to share. I just wanted to share. So I get a lot of people saying, well, this makes no sense. They go, oh, I didn't mean it like that. It's just cute. No, it's funny. It's kind of cute. No, if you get a job like me and you're like, oh no, I can't be the cute girl, I'm no good for this, I was just going to say no. What I mean is, it's not something you should be talking about online because it's not cool. Hey, that was a pretty good skit. All I did was give it the first few lines of dialogue and then it created an entire skit between the two characters. And the creepy part is that it told me when I was supposed to laugh. Can the algorithm predict the instructions on how to make a paper airplane? Making a paper airplane is easy. First, fold over the paper to make the base. Second, draw the hole you want on the edge of the base. Third, place a small piece of paper or foam in the middle of the hole and screw the board into place. Can the algorithm predict hidden wisdom? In the comic strip Calvin and Hobbes, Calvin realized that the purpose of writing is to inflate weak ideas, obscure poor reasoning, and inhibit clarity. He then titles his essay, The Dynamics of Interbeing and Monological Imperatives in Dick and Jane. Want to know what that essay is about? Give the title to the algorithm. The Dynamics of Interbeing and Monological Imperatives in Dick and Jane. I was going to have the robot character read the introductory paragraph, but it sounded so similar to actual academic writing that it was depressing. Like, I would not torture you like that, and it also just makes me feel bad that a robot can emulate humans writing. Of course, these are just silly examples of how to use the algorithm. This algorithm is called a language model, and language models are the core of translation apps like Google Translate. If we can lower the cost of language translation, then we can lower the cost of interacting with other cultures. Like, landlords can use this to communicate with tenants of other cultures. Restaurants could use the algorithm to describe the dishes to their customers. People could just use the algorithm to be kinder. Language models are also the core behind speech recognition technology. Improving this algorithm can actually make Siri understand you. And people haven't even used language models to their fullest extent. There are exciting advances coming to us if we can just learn how to make better language models. If you want to try this algorithm out for yourself, go to talktotransformer.com, a website made by Adam King. At this website, you can plug in your own prompt and get text like what I've been using in this video. In fact, I want you to show me what this algorithm gives you. Go to talktotransformer.com and in the prompt, write something like, the reasons why I like, and then your movie, or my favorite things about something, and then put 1, and it's going to list off reasons for you. Copy that text, post it as a comment below, so that way we can all have a good laugh about what this algorithm is creating. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. It helps me out a ton. I appreciate any and all feedback.